It turns out Zoom is a platform that requires you tell people the right time to be on the line. You haven't solved that yet.
Yeah, I think if I'm in my regular spot, I will see more audience. This is supposed to be John Chambers' session.
Right. That's right. It's interesting, although, you know what? I actually think that this is a case where AI probably would have chimed in and said, you know what, you've got a calendar, you've got a schedule, you've got an email that you sent, you agreed on this thing, and the numbers don't all match up. Something might be amiss here. You could imagine AI catching something like that.
Absolutely. And we should get down to the business, stop joking.
That's right.
Because especially John Chambers is going to be
That's right.
upset.
That's right. He's probably listening in right now. And let's hope he's there when we finish. So, you know, obviously everyone is familiar with Zoom. I referred to it earlier today. Having come in from the tech sector, I've known about it for a very long time. But we think of it as that thing that kept us connected during the pandemic. Video conferencing for work, video conferencing for family, for social. Like all tech companies, you have evolved into an AI company. Is that just something you have to do, or is it something that Zoom is uniquely positioned to take advantage of?
Yeah, I want to just reflect a little bit. Before I joined Zoom, I was Microsoft Azure AI CTO. And I helped Microsoft get all the AI services ready, including get the AI into Microsoft Teams to compete with Zoom. Zoom was the #1 competitor of Microsoft Teams. That's not the reason why I switched, okay? And I really think that generative AI with ChatGPT, OpenAI, redefined what this whole world is going to be. Did you hear me? Redefined what our future is going to be. I joined Microsoft more than 30 years ago. You know, I spent 30 years in one single company in that journey. Microsoft was much smaller. And I remember IBM was the bigger brother. IBM is still around, very important. But the position between Microsoft and IBM switched. I was 30 when I joined Microsoft. And I reached 60. I thought if I do not switch, I have no more chance. So that's why, one of the reasons why I joined Zoom. Zoom is smaller than Microsoft. But if the history has its own lesson, Zoom has a very good chance. I just want to share the story, right? It's the AI that is going to level the playing field among all companies, whether it's Microsoft or IBM or Google or Zoom or any startup. So I hope I answered your question. It's a tremendous opportunity. This is very much like we're back to the first industrial revolution. James Watt invented the steam engine. Now everything is up to all of us, how to make advantage of it.
So a lot of people have come on stage today and said that this is going to level the playing field. It's going to enable innovation. Small companies can compete with big companies. But there is this narrative out there that OpenAI has so much money and so much compute, and Microsoft is funding them, that's a winning horse. And Google's too big to fail, and Anthropic's backed by Amazon. So these big players are going to dominate the space. You know, why do you believe that these smaller companies can go toe-to-toe?
Well, I think OpenAI is a fantastic leader in AI. Microsoft purely depended on OpenAI to get the Copilot out. And there's actually a surprising smaller company, half the size of OpenAI, which happens to be in San Francisco as well. It's called Anthropic. They offer something that's equally exciting. Those are the two leaders, smaller companies. This is really American story, American innovation story. In Silicon Valley, one after another startup. They surprise big companies like IBM, Apple, Microsoft, and Google. Those two leaders provided unmatched quality that gave every company an opportunity to innovate, including Zoom.
So we started our prep call, and I've been creating AI-generated transcripts of all my prep calls so I can make my notes, I can get my questions. You saw my AI note taker on the call and was instantly dismissive. That it was a subpar product and that I wasn't using the best tools. Talk to me a little bit about what the tools are that you're building into Zoom that are so much better than what I'm using.
I do not know if you received the Zoom AI Companion note. It was very warm, friendly, and accurate. That's my opinion. He might have a different opinion. And what is actually worse about Dan is AI Companion was included at no additional cost. He knew nothing about it. He paid using his wallet for lower quality third-party services to get dismissive note-taking services every day. You see, that's why AI is really disruptive. That was based on last generation AI. Now, with Zoom AI Companion, I'm not advertising. I love Microsoft as well. I spent 30 years in Microsoft. I love the company. It's a fantastic company. But the Zoom AI Companion is so attractive. When Microsoft advertised in Super Bowl, they said, Copilot is like AI Companion. Go and check Microsoft ads.
Yeah, so what is your AI companion designed to do? Because it's more than just an extension of video conferencing. It actually creates action items and lets you get more work done. And explain how it works a little bit.
So AI Companion is really like a companion, not like your co-pilot, okay? It does, first, federate the best of the best in the industry. So we combined OpenAI and Anthropic models. Those are the two leaders. We also like Gemini. Google got its offering that is beneficial. We use the open source Llama from Meta. We have our own proprietary language model. We created an orchestrated layer in the back end that offered unmatched quality than any of them. So when you use AI Companion, we not just give you the meeting minutes. We tell you what your next step should be. Who should be doing what? That's the action. That action item will flow from the meeting to Zoom Docs based on your need. You can write a blog. You can write a set of slides. The slide will not be as beautiful as Microsoft PowerPoint. That shows how much I love Microsoft. But it's good enough.
Good that you're leaving them something.
It's good enough, like when I was at Carnegie Mellon as a postdoc. I was writing black and white transparency slide. Content was there, just doesn't have the animation and the beautiful format. So Microsoft AI Companion got 3 advantages. Number 1, backend is federated using the best of the best. Number 2, we focus on the action information flow. It's a system of action to help you to finish your task better. Now the action-oriented information flow will flow from the meeting you have, which happens to be the most important business function. That's why we're meeting today. Into docs, into chat, into email, into calendaring. So it's no longer focused on the last generation Office, which is focused on the document. Jamie was here, my colleague, former colleague in Microsoft. Microsoft is a documentation company in terms of Office. That's the last generation in the desktop era. Google innovated to focus on collaboration. So Google Docs focus on multiple people, up to 100 people working on the same document. Beautiful. They got a 25% share from Microsoft Office. Now, Google era dominated in the web. It's all wonderful. They are the king and the queen of productivity. But in the new era, we're going to focus on the action. Zoom AI Companion is the system of action to help you to get the work done in the whole life cycle of your project no matter whether you're in meeting, in docs, or in email. That's the differentiation. That's why we are the leader. We at least aim to be the leader in the generative AI era. We are fully embrace AI. Number 3 is we have no legacy. We don't have anything other than meeting. So we can design the whole user interface to be AI native, whether it's Zoom Docs or Zoom Tasks. We can really just offer you the best of the best to tie the back end and front end together with what I call artificial intelligence-centric user interface. It's not the GUI, like the graphic user interface we know. It's not the ChatGPT user interface as defined by OpenAI. We are bringing those two together seamlessly in Zoom Workplace. That's what we do.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting to think about it. You said the meetings are the most important thing we do at work. And this is sort of a meeting here. But you can imagine, and we've got people in the audience now that are running transcripts of everything that's said. All that's going to get uploaded into an AI, which is going to create key talking points. But we're going to be writing stories based on the content that's discussed here on stage. And I can just imagine all of that is facilitated by this type of interpretation. And it's, you can do it on a Zoom call, you can do it on a Hangout, but you can increasingly do it in everyday meetings. And it's going to be it's a new interface on the work environment. And there's no reason why Zoom can't be the tool of choice, because there's no lock-in the way there is with like Microsoft apps in that generation.
You're absolutely right. If you look at Microsoft Copilot, it's a great leader and a pioneer. But they focus on Microsoft ecosystem. There's no way you can actually get Google Docs into Copilot and massage those information together. You can use Google Gemini. It's equally exciting, competitive to Microsoft Copilot. But then you're not going to get a Microsoft document into Gemini, massage those information together. Zoom AI Companion, we not only support the Zoom meeting, we embrace Microsoft and the Google ecosystem. Whether it's OneDrive document or Google Drive document or Gmail, we welcome all. You can actually upload the Google document and the OneDrive document, then ask AI Companion, what is the difference? Compare and contrast those two. You can even ask questions about the information not in the web, in the document, not in those two documents. You know what? We integrate the Perplexity. I don't know if you know.
So it'll go out and search the web for answers to augment the information that's already inside the document.
Yes. Inside the document, outside of the document, everywhere. Information is power. Knowledge is power. Zoom AI Companion gave you that. Google is a great search company. It's a verb. Google is a verb, like search. Just like Zoom is a verb of meeting. But we changed that. Google Gemini with Google Docs can ask questions about the document. There's no search integration. Are you surprised? As a search company, defined by the Google verb. But the Zoom AI Company does all of them. That's the difference. That's what I call American innovation spirit.
So we've had a couple of companies up here that are building the knowledge bases and sort of the back end for businesses and enterprises. Do you want to make that part of your business too, or is Zoom the front end that gets people access to the information that's residing in a knowledge base?
In Zoomtopia, we announced we're going to introduce Customer AI Companion. We'll let you bring your own data, customized for your enterprises, like the Boeing experience. They use Microsoft large language model customized for Boeing conversation AI. Zoom is going to offer the same capability through Zoom AI Studio. So this is coming. But we're going to offer unmatched federated AI stack to help all enterprises, whether it's big or small, to take advantage of the best of the best.
So a lot of these, we're focusing on how the the large language models are processing text and creating action items. What else in terms of Zoom's offering, how is work going to change? How is this going to affect the work that users get done? Is it just going to make them more efficient? Is it going to make businesses more productive and profitable? Like, how are these tools going to shape the future of work over the next 5 years?
I really think that generative AI will give everyone extra day. Our CEO, Eric, already mentioned this. Most of us can and need to work only 4 days a week because of the productivity lift. If you look at the history of productivity, started from the first industrial revolution, right? The productivity is really growing exponentially. At that time, I don't know how many days people worked. Now today, it's 5 days a week. In the near future, it's going to be 4 days a week. All of us will benefit from AI productivity. Instead of laying off everyone, we should focus on the future. Everyone will benefit. So you have more time to do what you like. Enjoy your life, enjoy your friends and family. And if you need to play golf, play golf.
And you think employers will still pay for 5 days a week, even though we're only working 4 days a week?
I believe this is the productivity future. You know, we work. Why? Because we want to make everyone happier. This is, you know, human nature. We need to seek happiness. Why do you want to work 7 days a week? You want to be happier. That's fine. You want to work 7 days a week. But for the majority of the population, if they have the choice, I believe they like 4 days a week better than 5 days a week.
So most of the people on stage have come down on the side that this will not result in a net job loss, despite some massive layoffs in the short term. Would you agree with that? That there'll be more net gain than net loss?
I cannot predict the future, and I'm very optimistic. I believe that once you have this amazing tool, and for the first time in history, knowledge and intelligence, they're no longer valued as much as we used to value them. This is actually the biggest difference between the previous industrial revolution and the intelligence revolution. Today, I assume all of you are here because you're smart, you're intelligent, but that value will diminish. You get the reward by working less.
So let's end on a practical note. Just in terms of you using the Zoom tools and being in the ecosystem, how does AI Companion save you time and make your life better?
I have to share my personal story. I was a poor student in Beijing's Tsinghua University. And I was writing a paper using typewriter. I borrowed that typewriter because I couldn't afford to have one. And I wasn't a very good typist. So I have to correct the error. Then I spent a lot of money purchase liquid paper. What's expensive? I treat that as gold liquid. That was 1982. Then, and Microsoft, my colleague and I wrote a book, Spoken Language Processing, 800 pages. We changed it at that time with the publisher, Prentice Hall. We said we will format everything at our own cost because we like our format better than the publisher. They agreed. We used Microsoft Word, 800 pages, amazing work. We formatted everything like editor. That was 2000. Last year, my colleague in Microsoft, Peter Lee, wrote a book, Revolution in Medicine, in less than 6 months because he used ChatGPT. You see the generation gap? To type one piece of paper would cost me a few hours. And as a poor student in China at that time, I had to actually really question how much liquid paper I need to use. To Microsoft Word, Microsoft revolutionized desktop computing. We could publish 800 pages without a publisher involved formatting everything, meeting the standard of Prentice Hall publishing standard, to using AI and the people working together, publishing a book in less than 6 months. For me, I cannot actually have a Zoom meeting or any meeting without the AI companion taking the notes, telling me what actions I need to take. This is just a tremendous productivity gain. This is also, I really don't want to advertise the most accurate action item you could ever dream, better than my chief of staff at Microsoft. When I was at Microsoft, I had the chief of staff. Every meeting, chief of staff will always give me the action items. And Zoom was a poor company, smaller company. As the CTO of the company, I have no chief of staff. But AI Companion fulfilled that. Actually does a better job.
So no call centers and no chief of staffs. All right. Thanks for that inspiration, H.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.